Hi friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to share with you some scenes from our home, which I like to refer to as our little church, because we strive to do our best to create a special, peaceful, holy environment in our household. I love looking at these purple salvias here that you see on the screen. They're just such a treat and a blessing. They continue to blossom throughout the spring and summer seasons, and they're always covered with butterflies or bees. I love finding beauty in the little things. So this morning I decided to put together an arrangement of faux flowers and put them in this little hanging basket here by the window. I love looking at things that remind me of God's glorious creation. And here's a sneak peek into our bedroom here. I don't really take too many pictures of our bedroom, but for whatever reason, the sunshine came pouring in through our window so beautifully, and I wanted to take the time to really appreciate this space that we have. For a while, we didn't have a place of our own, and so it's truly a treasure to have our own home for our family that we get to run and decorate and set a rhythm to. This is a look into our laundry room. I just felt like on this day, the sun was so warm and bright, and it was so refreshing to have the space illumined in the way that it was. So I had to take a video of it just so I could look back and be grateful for this space that we have. Even being just a laundry room, this is something that so many people don't have, and we didn't have for a while. And so to be able to have this area is something that I am truly thankful for. And so I do my best to make every space in our home feel cozy and to feel loved. So in our laundry room, I added different vintage touches, antiques, and pictures to liven up the space a little bit. I found this wooden hanger that my mom had saved all these years. It had one of my dresses from when I was a little girl because she saved a bunch of our clothes, and it's a treat to be able to have these fine vintage finds that have been carried on from previous generations. And this is just a look into our everyday life. You know, we have dishes that we wash throughout the day and we keep out drying, and what a blessing to be able to have dishes to eat off of, food to eat. And here I'm just making my midday afternoon treat, I guess you could call it. It's just some leftover coffee. I keep it in that glass container in the fridge, and I like to add a splash of milk and maple syrup to sweeten it up. We try to stay away from refined sugars if we can, so we sweeten a lot of things with maple syrup, and truthfully, I think it's a great consistency and it adds a lot of delicious flavor to especially our coffee. I also add it to my hot coffee in the morning. So sometimes I need a little pick-me-up to carry me through, and this tends to do the trick, and it's also a thrifty way to save that leftover coffee from the morning. So I decided to start this little project for my kids. We're doing a little bit of homeschooling here and there. My kids are ages 3, 2, and 1. So they're all very young, and they're all learning in their own way, and they're at different stages of development. And I'm sure a lot of you mamas are aware that those are pretty critical years in your kids' lives. So I try to do my best to create activities or to find activities for them to do that are constructive and that are fun and beautiful and interesting. Creating things of beauty is a passion of mine. I love beautiful things, and I think that we can all find ways to integrate beauty into our lives. It's one of those things that makes life more enjoyable, and it doesn't have to be expensive. You can do it on a dime. Here I found some pictures online. I believe it's from the blog called The Cottage Chronicles. She had a link to a bunch of images that you can either purchase, or she had some for free. And I decided to print those out, and I simply laminated them with this laminating machine that I found on Amazon. I think it was around $30, and it came with a bunch of pages to be able to laminate things, and it's come in so handy for us for homeschooling. I've done so many projects, and in fact they even sell laminating sheets for dry erase markers, and so I'm able to laminate homeschool materials that can be reused over and over again and save us money. And because I have my 3 kids, those materials can be used 3 times over. So here I'm just laminating these beautiful little trees here, and I also laminated a picture of a cottage and a cabin, as well as the little house family. And so I'll show you here, after I laminate, what I do to make this an interactive project for my kids. They really enjoyed this craft, and I think your kids will too. Here I found a scene from the Beatrix Potter Peter Rabbit book, and it has, Jemima Puddle Duck back there on there. And so I also found a page online that had a bunch of little images of Peter Rabbit and his family, as well as Jemima Puddle Duck. I'll see if I can find some others with some other Beatrix Potter characters, but I just cut out the printed pictures and I laminated them, cut out those laminated images that you see there. I love this picture of Peter Rabbit with his sisters and his mom. It's just the sweetest thing. I found these dots. They're Velcro dots on Amazon. They were so affordable. I think they were like $5. And I just put one side of the Velcro on the image of the bunny, and then I take the other side of the Velcro and I place it on to the landscape, or in this case my daughter's helping me out here, and you just tack it on together. And it's a great sensory activity for your little ones. They can change up the scene and change up the pictures and let their imaginations run wild. It's also a great quiet activity that you could take to church with you on Sundays if you want to keep your little one busy during the sermon. And this is just a view of our home in the afternoon here. We had just celebrated my daughter's first birthday, so we had some decorations up, and I was just preparing some food for our family. She loves these little puzzles. They keep her busy, and my kids are over there watching something on the TV. We try to limit their screen time, but once in a while it's helpful to have maybe something quiet to watch. We are very careful about what kinds of shows and movies we show our kids. So on this particular day, we were showing them the movie 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. It's something that my sister and I loved watching, and my husband did too as a kid. And the kids really enjoy the songs, and it's a sweet story. As you can see, we're just a typical family. We have dishes that have been washed and are drying and set aside. And here's a planner that I wanted to show you. I found it on Amazon. It's from the Peaceful Press. I love some of their homeschool materials, so I was really excited to find this planner of theirs on Amazon at such an affordable price. I'll see if I can link it for you guys below if you'd like to order one of these planners, but I thought it was really beautifully put together, and it's great for moms because there's so much space to write, and it's also not tabbed by month. You get to fill in the month. So depending on when you want to start your homeschool, or if you miss a few months, you can just skip on to the next month. You don't have to rip out any pages. And it includes a schedule here, as you can see, for your homeschoolers. And it also has this great section here to structure your days, to stay on top of what you need to do for homeschool, for your home activities, as well as work. And I love that it has these muted colors. I like things that are very cohesive and kind of natural looking. As you can see here, I keep a lot of plants on my windowsill, and so here I am just watering them for the day. This is a type of cabbage that my husband picked up. It has a little bit of a bitter, kind of peppery taste to it. My kids love munching on it. They'll just ask me to rip off a leaf for them, and they'll just munch on the cabbage. We're growing this little pepper here. We had a few other baby pepper buds, but they didn't make it, so we're doing our best to keep this one alive. And that's been a fun experience for our kids to watch something that started off as just this tiny little plant continue to grow and to produce some fruits, or in this case, vegetables. And as you can see here, we have another cabbage plant. It actually was all together, and I was able to separate it because we had so much growth off the plant that it needed a little space to breathe. I love keeping these little bunnies here on the windowsill. They remind me of my children, all three of them. And the kids love looking at them too, because we are big Peter Rabbit fans around here, as you can already tell based on our activity and the way that we decorate. And this is a glimpse into our backyard. And I'll give you a little tour here of what we've planted. We have some salvia here. We've got coral bells. We've got a type of sage that looks like salvia. We have these veronicas or speedwells. Those are one of our favorites. And I planted these bluebells, I think is what they're called, or bellflowers. And these are some small, they aren't arborvitae, they are, I'm blanking on the name. They're dwarf spruces. That's what those little trees are. We've got our catnip there, or catmint rather. Some more veronicas here. And we kind of did a little bit of a reoccurring pattern. I love purples and pinks and blues, so those are kind of the tones of our garden area here. We've got our arborvitae there on the side. And that's about it for you guys. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you continue to follow along as we share more about our homemaking journey here in our household. Take care and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.